My brother hacked my laptop and transferred $20,000 out of what he thought was my savings account. When I found out, Dad snapped, "He's in debt. Don't be greedy. Family helps family." I didn't call the police. I just smiled because that wasn't my personal savings. It was Dad's secret retirement fund he asked me to manage. I stared at the blinking cursor on my phone, watching the balance update. 0. My brother Leo had finally done it. He'd been drowning in sports betting debt for months, dodging calls from people you don't want to owe money to. I knew he'd been snooping. I knew he saw me log into a high-yield account on my laptop last week. What he didn't know was that I had left the laptop unlocked on purpose today. When I walked into the living room, Leo wouldn't look me in the eye. He was sweating, staring intently at his phone. My dad was sitting in his usual armchair, sipping coffee, looking completely unbothered. "Leo," I said, my voice deadpan. "Did you touch my laptop?" Leo flinched. He looked at Dad, silently begging for protection. Dad set his mug down with a heavy thud. "He didn't have a choice, Marcus. He was in a hole. He stole $20,000 from me," I said, keeping my voice terrifyingly calm. "That was everything in that account," Dad snapped. He stood up, pointing a finger directly at my face. "He's your brother. He's in debt. Don't be greedy. Family helps family. You're working. You'll make it back. Drop it." Leo let out a breath of pure relief. He actually smirked at me. They expected me to scream. They expected me to threaten to call the cops. Instead, I just smiled. It wasn't a fake smile. It was a genuine, deeply satisfied grin. "You're right, Dad," I said softly. "Family helps family." I turned around, walked back to my room, and closed the door. I didn't call the police. I didn't need to, because that wasn't my personal savings account. My actual savings were completely safe in a private credit union. They didn't even know existed. That account? It was Dad's secret retirement fund. 3 years ago, after his nasty divorce, Dad begged me to hide and manage $20,000 in cash for him, so his ex-wife wouldn't find it. He wanted it kept completely off his own grid. He insisted it be under my name, in a separate digital wallet account, so no one could trace it back to him. I'd set it up exactly as he asked, and today I made sure the login details were saved right on the home screen. Leo thought he was robbing his successful, greedy brother. Dad thought he was forcing his responsible son to bail out his favorite golden child screw-up. Neither of them realized that Leo had just robbed his own father blind. I sat on my bed, pulled up the transaction history, and took a screenshot. Then I forwarded the receipt straight to Dad's phone. I waited. Exactly 40 seconds later, the entire house shook. "Leo, what the hell did you do?" Dad's scream cut through the walls like a chainsaw. I opened my door just enough to watch the fireworks. Dad was trembling, holding his phone out like it was a live grenade. His face was a deep, dangerous shade of purple. "Dad, what's wrong?" Leo stammered, backing away. "You said it was fine. You said Marcus would make it back." "That wasn't Marcus's money, you idiot," Dad roared, his voice cracking with pure panic. "That was my money, my retirement, the cash from the house sale." Leo froze. The blood completely drained from his face. He looked over at me, standing at the end of the hallway. I was just leaning against the doorframe, watching them both collapse under the weight of their own choices. "Marcus!" Dad yelled, turning his desperation toward me. "Reverse it! Call the bank! Tell them it was fraud!" I tilted my head, my expression entirely cold. "I can't do that, Dad," I replied smoothly. "If I report it as fraud, the bank investigates. Then the police get involved. And you just told me not to be greedy. You told me family helps family." Dad looked like he was about to have a medical emergency. "Marcus, please. I need that money!" "Leo needed it more," I said, mimicking Dad's exact tone from earlier. "He was in a hole. You said it yourself." Leo looked like he was going to throw up. He realized that the money was already gone, sent directly to a bookie to clear his debts. There was no getting it back. Dad looked at Leo, the golden child, with a look of absolute unfiltered hatred. The man who had always enabled Leo's worst behaviors was finally paying the price for them. "Pack your bags," Dad whispered to Leo, his voice shaking. "Get out of my house." "Dad, please," Leo pleaded. "Get out." I didn't say another word. I just walked back into my room and locked the door. For years, I was the one who had to sacrifice. I was the one told to be the bigger person while Leo ruined everything he touched. Not anymore. Dad lost his life savings. Leo lost his protector. And all it cost me was a little bit of patience and a smile.